Hi, my name is Ryan James and welcome to my art channel. Today we are going to go through a huge sketchbook I've been working on for a couple of years now. Took a major break from it, rebooted it, got it all started, and now it's done and ready. This is probably going to be a two-parter because it's a big sketchbook. But anyway, thank you for tuning in and I shall speak to you in a second. And here we are again with another vlog. It has been 2 weeks since my last official upload, although I've been trying to keep a bit more regular on the shorts, but we are getting there. So this sketchbook is something I started in 2023. It has some good hefty work in there, but it's I don't know whether I'll get through this entire thing in one vlog, but we'll see what we can do. I think this might have to be a two-parter. I know, my first two-parter. Anyway, so this is just covered in some, just some paper, some cardstock I found somewhere. I don't like to leave them too blank, and I'm not really great at collecting sort of really cool stickers. I'm not quite one of the cool kids just yet. Anyway, as the first page on every one of my sketchbooks, since I did a Mab Graves Drawloween years ago, where you have to do a monster self-portrait, it kind of stuck. So I've been doing monster self-portraits on the first page of every sketchbook I've had since. So that's this one. There's also a little bit of, because my sketchbooks are part visual diary as well, so we'll just see what goes on in there. But some of these are stickers. I'll try not to get too over the top, mopey with some of the stuff I talk about, because like I said, these are part journal. But yeah, I found these really cool cat-shaped post-it notes, and you'll find them everywhere. And the rest of these I've just pulled off TikTok shop, I believe, or possibly somewhere random on eBay, I'm not sure. I'm completely in love with tonal paper at the moment, but this is when I first sort of began working with birds, trying to get more figurative drawing in there, a bit more realistic. I kind of dropped it and picked it back up as I went through it, but I was trying, I think I came at this sketchbook with a bit more of an agenda of how I wanted it to look, which was a mistake, because it meant that I actually stopped drawing in the sketchbook for months and months and months, which is why I'm only now finishing it. But when I just sort of draw whatever's in my mind, draw my dreams, draw whatever's going on, that's when I tend to just get more work done. But anyway, this is a pencil sketch of a bird and a couple of stickers in there. Again, I was trying to get more ravens and other kind of birds in there, bits and pieces. I think I'm getting a bit better with my pencil sketches, to be honest, although it does get a little bit boring for me just drawing what I see. I like to mix in a couple of other things as well, just to make sure that there's something creative. Like, yeah, I like to draw a raven, but I also want to draw a raven with, I don't know, an elf on its back or something strange. I'm not certain. Also, I really am still practicing portraits. I'm nowhere near as good as I would like to be. It's just, I can get the shapes right, I can get some of the lighting right, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong to get the like the texture of the face, or like the depth in the face. So I think I might have to find a course online or something like that just to help me. So if you know of one, then leave it in the comments below, because I will definitely need some help, because I'm getting there in certain parts, but yeah, it's just handling the light and knowing what to highlight and what not to. I'm still not great on that. These are more birds. I'm kind of obsessed with more the house sparrows and general finches rather than like the hummingbirds or the blue tits or things like that. I did draw a raven skull there. It's just little bits that I'm trying to get. This is for a design for a painting that I've just started. I'm not sure you can pick it up in there. Oh god, I'm going to do this again, aren't I? Where I keep trying to get, like, because I have this massive circular canvas and I cannot get it to, the painting wouldn't turn up, but I think I'm going to do something similar to this, but way more birds. And this was another pencil sketch. Again, you can see like the shapes are there, some of the tone is there, but I know for myself the depth of the character isn't quite there. This is another one that I tried with watercolors, and I kind of can't resist adding pen and ink to everything. And of course I love to collect pieces of random paper with patterns on them. That's actually a bit of wallpaper that had a triceratops on it, so there was no way I wasn't going to be collecting some of that. Here I'm beginning to stylize a bit more and sort of drop some of the more realistic stuff, because I do want there to be a balance. I've been told that you have to sort of get better at your fundamentals and your realism before you can, sort of be decent when it comes to stylizing things, but I don't know, we'll see. And I'm still adding shadow people. If you've seen a couple of my vlogs from before, you'd have seen the shadow people anyway. These are just watercolor and pencil. I don't think there was anything really behind this other than just momentum. Sometimes this was a face that I wanted to use on the painting that I'm doing now, but I went against it in the end. And I don't quite know what happened with him and why his arms are so skinny, but I don't know, we all have our challenges in life. This I quite like the idea of, but I think if I can get a really long canvas, I can definitely do something more with it, definitely sort of interweave the shadow people in and out of the hair and that sort of stuff. So if you want to see that, let me know, because I do like this vlog, or I want this vlog to be more of a conversation than just me up on a stage barking at you what I'm up to. I want it to be like, if you see something that you really think would look good painted up, I'm always on the hunt for ideas, or at least narrowing down ideas. This, I think I was watching some sort of Clash of the Titans, and there was a big scorpion in the movie, so this was just on my lap while I was doing that, or watching that. And I do like her hair, but I'm not sure how she would come out in an acrylic painting. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see her one day. These are just some random ideas, random sketches, keeping the pen moving. I do like the idea of incorporating some fish into them, and I'm always up for a monster on a backpack. And I think as well I'm trying to draw a bit more, or get a bit more magic in some of these things. That, oh god, if you can see this again, I'm going to do it to you again. That was actually more the design for the big giant round canvas with all of the birds circling around. These were, I was woken up at 4 in the morning by a couple of foxes screaming outside my bedroom window. I live next door to a park, and it was their mating season, and yeah, not fun. Random sketches, just random drawings, nothing I'm overly maybe I could develop him into something. I quite like the idea of like the void or the like nothingness and that sort of stuff, but yeah, we'll go from there. General, again, playing with some of those ideas, playing with some of the hair. I'm still working on getting more volume into the hair and more shape into it. I don't quite know what this page was about. I think it was more journal than actual art, but yeah, I think that's kind of interesting, I guess. This was something I wanted to paint up. I'm still working on this idea with the hair being pulled along by arrows. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that. Maybe I can add some like horns into it and put like a forest scene, something a bit that's the beginning of an idea that I haven't quite worked out yet, and that's why where I made the mistake of making the sketchbook like with intention rather than actually just playing, because then you don't get ideas. Also, if you're looking for sort of horror ideas, Korean horror movies are amazing, and for some reason they always seem to involve exploding heads or squids coming out of people's heads, and I'm for it. I think this was a guy I saw at the gym, and he had a really interesting nose, so I wanted to draw that. On the big round circular canvas I keep mentioning, oh hang on, is this, oh there we are, there's one in between. I'm always going to play around with heterochromia because it's just visually really interesting, but I don't know. This was the beginning of a Medusa idea that I had. I know it's really done, but on the round canvas, I just had the idea for doing a round sort of almost Afro-esque Medusa head. Again, an idea I haven't fully developed, but I will look into it a bit more. Trying to change the shape of the mouth and the eyes and all of that sort of, try and get a bit more fluidity in there, in with my fawns. Her, not a fan of. I don't know what I was thinking. The face is really soft and there's half a tentacle hanging out of it. Why? I don't know. I think this is maybe, again, the beginning of an idea that didn't quite get there. Morbid Victorian ladies are kind of my jam. These, I was trying to do something a little bit more experimental, playing with form and with idea, and just scribbling and just getting the eyes in there and the shape of the face, almost like you can't quite see it until you see it. But I wanted to play with that a little bit more. You can't go wrong with an owl. I sold a few of my owls at my market stall. I enjoyed that. But yeah, and collecting, I found this piece of paper with spiders in there, and you can't go wrong with a spider either. So yeah, this is I think this is just acrylic paint rolled onto a piece of acrylic paper, which I'm kind of getting into acrylic paper at the moment. It's just good for putting sketchbook work in. Weirdly enough, I think this might be one of my favourite pieces in this entire sketchbook, and I know what you're thinking, it's nothing like I normally do, but I really would like to see if I could transfer something like that onto a canvas. See if I could play with that. Oh, and this is spray paint with an exploded head on top of it. Again, an owl and some texture. Trying to create different palettes. That's just biro pen. More of these scribbled faces ideas. They are ideas, and I think in order to do them a bit more justice, I'm going to have to work more from reference, because these were just out of the top of my head, and I don't think they came out very well. They were okay, but not very well. More morbid Victorian ladies, and of course spiders. Her, I quite like the look of her, so she might end up on a canvas, at least a small one somewhere. These were just character designs. I don't really know what I was thinking when I drew them, but I like him. She's a bit strange, a bit too odd. I don't know whether I'm going to turn her into anything. These, me and my husband go to Skooma Island once a year, and there's like a puffin sanctuary, not a sanctuary, like a puffin colony, there we are, next to that. So why not draw a puffin or two? I've never actually seen them properly, but maybe this year. This is called a secretary bird. Just pen and ink, trying to get form, trying to get bits and pieces there. Oh, I'm kind of obsessed with a snail backpack, and I would love to be able to make one, and I might at some point. It might go on the endless list of creative things I want to do. This is me throwing blobs of watercolor paint on, and it completely buckled all the paper and it made it awful, but trying to turn those blobs then into shapes to see if I could do something with them. Not very successfully, if I'm honest. That's kind of interesting, but again, I think it might be better if it was in acrylic and really strong colors. I think the pigment of these watercolors didn't quite stand out. These were just practicing hand shapes, something I am really not practicing enough. Oh, and this, a lovely fawn lady. Again, I'm going to take all my favourite fawns out of this and just, I've got like a big bunch of tiny A4 canvases, and I just want to see what they would look like. Now this one took bloody ages, and again, I don't think it's the beginning of an idea, and if I get one of those giant elongated rectangular canvases, I think she might look really good on there. And I fill in the rest of the body, forestry in the background, something. I'm really into sort of the elongated horns and getting all of that done, but shading this was a nightmare. but you know, might be good as a painting at some point. This just keeping the pen going, I think, just motion and just writing some stuff out. Again, back to tonal paper. I'm kind of obsessed with it, especially when you add the white. It's really, I just like it. I might even do like a whole series of them and adding colour and seeing what I can do with that. More portrait practice, trying to use coloured pencils to force myself into like not rubbing out and starting again, or erasing for my Americans. This kind of pencil people I always do in every sketchbook now, and you know, it's just a theme that turns up. I do like the religious iconography. Multiple eyes is something that I like to do as kind of a abbreviation or deconstruction of drawing the third eye, just having it somewhere else, and having a Virgin Mary motif with a kind of darker edge to it was something I was interested in, but I did mess up the proportions of the head, so we'll see. More tonal paper. This is definitely something I want to paint up. I just like the shape of how the pen came out on the wings, coming out of the head and coming off the face. I never coloured it in because I think I just think I prefer it as a pen and ink piece, at least on this. But if I get another round or maybe oblong canvas, then that might look nice on there. I like drawing the girls with weird helmets and ghosts in the machine. You've seen a couple of them on my channel, but I like how they come out. So there's always going to be one or two of them. Yeah, I don't quite know what was happening with me that day, but I was clearly under caffeinated. So that's going on there. And this is the halfway point of the sketchbook. Another one of those pen and ink pieces. This is just a magazine cutout of some sort of seed, and yeah, I think we're gonna leave it there for today because this video is over 15 minutes as it is. So this will just be part one of my major sketchbook haul. Haul? That's the wrong word. My major sketchbook review or tour. That's the word I'm looking for. Speaking about being under caffeinated. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you for part 2. And that's all for today. Again, thank you for tuning into my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you all when part 2 is available.